Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. Bangor from and now the headlines as usual.
President pays working visit to Ba Giang. National Assembly Standing Committee opens 8 sessions. And later on, Vietnam shares experience in poverty reductions at UN session.
President Nguyễn Phúc had a working session with leaders of the South Central province of Ba Giang on February 15.
During the meeting, President Phúc emphasized the potentials and advantages of Ba Giang, which has a strategic location as a gateway to the Central Highlands. Phúc suggested that the province needs further breakthroughs in its development while intensifying resources for sustainable development. The President emphasized the goal of making Quy Nhơn to become an attractive global destination with focus on seaports, logistics, and high-end agricultural development, among others. On the occasion, the state leader praised efforts by concerned quarters to make Ba Giang's traditional martial arts to become an intangible cultural heritage. Ba Giang is to be capital of the ancient Champa Kingdom and still retains many unique agricultural and artistic heritages with many historical and cultural works that have been recognized as national special historical sites.
The 15th National Assembly Standing Committee commenced the 8th session in Hanoi on February 18th morning. Join us to see more in the following report. In his opening remarks, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ said, during the session, the Standing Committee will look into the amendment of 2 draft laws, namely the one on mobile police and another revising and supplementing some articles of the law on intellectual property, expected to be submitted to the Parliament for approval at the coming 3rd session. Participants will scrutinize the articles needing revision in the laws of customs, science and technology, management and use of public assets and prices, as some regulations in these laws are related to the amendment ones in the intellectual property law. They set to consider including the draft revised law on medical examination and treatment in the 2022 Law and Ordinance Making Program. A report on the settlement of people's opinions in January will also form part of the session's agenda, according to Chairman Huệ. The 8th session of the National Assembly Standing Committee is scheduled to last for 2.5 days. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on February 15th chaired an online conference to review the implementation of the resolution on collective economy and the law on cooperatives. According to a report delivered at the event, the collective economy and cooperatives have recorded new strides in quality and quantity development and increasingly affirmed their development potential and prospects. However, there remain many problems in the economy. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính affirmed that the collective economy, with cooperatives being the core, is an important economic element which is always facilitated by the party and state and gradually getting established in the national economy. He highlighted some key targets, orientations and measures for promoting the collective economy in the time ahead, noting that it's necessary to mobilize more resources for and remove obstacles to its development. After 20 years of implementing the Party Central Committee's resolution on the collective economy and the 10-year enforcement of the law on cooperatives, Vietnam has a total of around 27,500 cooperatives and cooperative alliances nationwide in 2021, up 41% from 2013, employing about 1.2 million workers per year. Over the past years, per capita income of cooperative workers has been on the rise from some $1,960 in 2017 to $2,320 in 2019, narrowing the gap with income of enterprises workers. Vietnam shared experience in promoting poverty reduction and overcoming difficulties during crisis at the 60th session of the UN Commission for Social Development that is taking place from February 7th to 16th in New York.
Addressing the session, Ambassador Đặng Đình Quý, permanent representative of Vietnam to the United Nations, stressed that post-pandemic recovery has yet to be equal across the world. He said the process of implementing Sustainable Development Goals in 2030 has been interrupted, especially the goal in poverty reduction. We held that in order to ensure food security, which is an important foundation for poverty reduction, countries should strengthen investment in science, technology, and renovation in the agricultural sector to increase its productivity, resilience, and sustainability. Vietnam is willing to engage in UN cooperation frameworks and hopes to become a food innovation center of the region, he said, highlighting comprehensive measures and achievements of Vietnam in poverty reduction and food security protection.
The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has proposed the government resumes pre-pandemic waivers of visas for tourists from 24 countries when the country restarts international tourism.
The ministry earlier proposed March 31st, 2022 to be the beginning of the total reopening of international tourism in Vietnam, as the country expects to finish its COVID-19 vaccine booster shot campaign by then. The list of 24 countries on the visa exemption list includes Japan, the Republic of Korea, Switzerland, Germany, France, the United Kingdom, and 9 ASEAN countries. Arrivals from 46 countries could enter Vietnam on e-visas, as before the COVID-19 pandemic broke out and the country closed its border. The ministry wants the Ministry of Public Security and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be on board with this policy. The Ministry of Health is expected to provide medical guidelines for arrivals and technical guidance to monitor and deal with COVID-19 outbreaks in the new normal, which are consistent with existing regulations in many other countries to ensure international integration efforts, the Tourism Ministry noted.
More than 300 overseas Vietnamese business people attended a forum to promote agricultural investment and trade held by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in cooperation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on February 14th.
Figures from the State Commission for Overseas Vietnamese Affairs show that more than 5 million Vietnamese nationals are living and working in 190 countries and territories. Vietnam is home to some 3,500 projects invested in by overseas Vietnamese, with investment of $11 billion, many of which are in the agricultural sector.
We hope the agriculture sector will receive more resources from overseas Vietnamese business people to develop Vietnam into an agricultural power.
Remittances to Vietnam have been estimated at some $250 billion in total over the past 3 decades, while total foreign direct investment into the country stands at around $290 billion. Analysts said remittance flows are a huge driver of the country's development, and overseas Vietnamese business people possess skill science and technology knowledge, as well as sound management skills and market networks.
Overseas Vietnamese business people play an important role in the country development process. They not only contribute financial resources but also practical initiatives to expand the economy.
The forum aimed to pay tribute to overseas Vietnamese business people who have made major contributions to the country's agricultural development in the past times. They are expected to promote their role further and have Vietnamese agricultural products reach out to the world.
The customs sector will synchronously implement solutions to achieve the target of paperless customs in 2022, according to a directive recently issued by the General Department of Customs.
The directive on enhancing administrative reform and simplifying customs procedures, dated February 8, is intended to build a digital, smart customs sector. Accordingly, all customs procedures nationwide will be conducted on digital platforms. The sector will also step up connectivity and digital transformation through the National Single Window system. At the same time, efforts will be made to accelerate the implementation of the action plan to promote the ASEAN Single Window mechanism, which is linked with the sector's information technology system. The sector plans to build digital customs platforms based on big data and bring into full play new technologies of the fourth industrial revolution, striving to take the lead in the government's digital transformation plan.
Hanoi authorities have allowed Relic sites to welcome visitors back following a long-time closure prompted by COVID-19.
The Municipal Department of Culture and Sports has asked localities to strengthen preventive measures at relic sites, and their reopening has to strictly follow health guidance of relevant agencies in the city. Historical and cultural sites are asked to build plans and prepare equipment for COVID-19 prevention and control. Visitors are encouraged to receive at least 2 shots of COVID-19 vaccine or test negative with the disease within 72 hours using RT-PCR method before going to the sites. Regarding festivals, only basic rituals will be held and activities that attract crowds will be limited. However, most temples and pagodas in the capital city reported fewer numbers of visitors compared to the same period of previous years.
Chuk Pagoda in the northern province of Hà Nam held a ceremony recently to introduce its unique spring festival and promote the conservation of cultural values in the locality.
The main rituals held during the ceremony included a water procession from Chuk Lake to Ngọc Pagoda to pay tribute to Buddha, genies, and the Mother Goddess, prayers for a bumper harvest and favorable weather conditions, and incense offerings to pray for peace and happiness around the country. The Chuk Spring Festival is an important cultural and religious event, providing visitors with a better understanding of festival activities while promoting efforts to preserve traditional cultural values in the locality. Chuk Pagoda sits on nearly 5,000 hectares, surrounded by lakes, mountains, forests, and valleys. Objects excavated at the site reveal that the pagoda is around 1,000 years old. The complex was recognized by the Prime Minister as a national tourism site in 2013.
Vietnam remained the #1 team in Southeast Asia, followed by Thailand and the Philippines in the latest edition of FIFA Men's World Rankings, the first of this year.
The ranking was attributed to their 3-1 win over China in the World Cup qualifier on February 1st, making them the first Southeast Asian team ever to do so in the history. The victory earned Vietnam 15.46 points, which has also helped them return to the world's top 100 ranking. Just 5 days before the historic win over China, the team slipped out of the FIFA Top 100 rankings as they lost 0-4 to Australia in another World Cup qualifier match. Compared to the previous rankings at the end of 2021, Vietnam obtained 6.1 more points to maintain their 98th place globally this year.
Photographer Nguyễn Ngọc Thiện has become the winner of the Save Our Seas Foundation Marine Conservation category of the Underwater Photographer of the Year 2022 award with his photo featuring anchovy fishing off the coast of Hòn Yên in the south central province of Phú Yên.
The 34-year-old is living and working in Ho Chi Minh City. He is the only Vietnamese photographer to win an award of the UYP 2022, a prestige competition of the UK that was first held in 1965. Thiện took the photo in June 2019 in the peak season of anchovy fishing in Phú Yên. His photo spreads a message of protecting marine resources from overfishing. Through many beautiful photos at famous diving spots in Vietnam and around the world, he has given great travel inspiration to sea lovers. The UPY 2022 received 4,200 entries from photographers from 71 countries and territories. This year, Faria Fernandez Calabros from Spain was crowned the overall winner of the contest.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.